So it's come to my attention that I've reached 9,000 subscribers on YouTube. So that means a subscriber special after I get another 1,000 more. But here's something I considered doing for that occasion before changing my mind. It's the Oogieloves in the Big Balloon Adventure. Oogieloves was the brainchild of Ken Weiselman, someone who marketed or worked on shows like Teletubbies and Thomas the Tank Engine. He tried to make a Teletubbies movie before being shot down by the show's creator, Ann Wood. So he acquired assets from another show called My Bedbugs and repurposed them for this movie. Now, I could maybe understand if he wanted a Thomas the Tank Engine flick, since that franchise has an entire universe of characters and stories to make use of, but Teletubbies? That was his first option? Well, it doesn't matter now. Let's find out why this movie became one of the worst box office bombs in the history of cinema. And right away, we get a hole in the fourth wall to greet these abominations of mankind. First up is Gooby, the nerd. He likes science and pickles because green. Next there's Zuzi, the girl, an animal lover who can also talk to said animals. And finally there's Toofy, the rebel. You'll see why I call him that later. But for now, they explain to the canned audience of what they will do in this musical adventure and point out some cues. So if butterflies appear, it's time to get up and dance. But when the turtles show up, everyone has to shut up and sit down. And just in case the audience slept through the tutorial, which is a totally understandable reaction by the way, here's a refresher course. Now these interactions between film and audience is common for a show like Teletubbies, but these sorts of shenanigans work less in a venue like a movie theater, where this film was initially shown. Could you imagine being a parent and having to put up with your kids jumping around and yelling at the screen because the movie characters told them to do so? That's gotta be hell! I should also mention that Ken Weiselman once said that he was inspired to create this movie after watching Medea Goes to Jail, where people were interacting with the movie? Yeah, does it make sense? You got anything to say to that, Medea?
You gotta get to the phone if you're gonna dial 911, honey. You got to get to the phone. And I will hit you so hard that your cranium and your skull and your urethra tube will all be tied up together inside of each other. You wouldn't be able to do nothing but pee and run.
Amen to that. So after the song, we are treated to some ugly CG landscape before cutting over to the Oogieloves' home. We can see them sleeping inside and...
Fun to sing.
Well, I would think any intruder trying to sneak a peek would be spooked by that. But Windy Window here isn't the only sentient thing in this house. We also have a talking goldfish named Ruffy, who sounds like a surrogate parent with the way he acts sometimes.
All I do is swim. Oh, Ruffy the fish is barely awake.
Then there's Schloofy, a sentient pillow. Yes, really. And the only thing more surprising than all of that is...
Schloofy's birthday surprise party!
And finally, we have J. Edgar, the vacuum cleaner. As stated before, most of these characters use similar designs as characters from My Bedbugs, including the main trio. Now, maybe it's just me, but maybe combining Pee-wee's Playhouse with preschool show rhymes and effects might not be the best idea. And I do mean it, because this movie is gonna pull a Pee-wee soon. But first, we need plot. And Edgar was out shopping for gold-colored balloons for the birthday pillow, but then...
I've lost Schloofy's balloons!
He was only singing a moment ago, and somehow it spooks the animals, who then spook him into losing the balloons? What happened? Well, just go back and get some more, right?
Here's the problem. They were the last 5 magical balloons in all of lovely Loveville.
Then get a gift card. I'm sure the pillow won't mind. But nah, the Boogie Oogie Woogieloves are gonna go look for them. Although Edgar is staying behind. At least he can be with Wendy. I, for one, cannot wait to see where this relationship goes. Wendy has the power to show our characters what they're looking for, and they find the first balloon stuck in a large tree. They get changed into their clothes via a magic glittery curtain, and you know how I called Toofy the rebel of the group?
I don't like belts.
Your running gag, ladies and gentlemen.
But every time your pants fall down, we're gonna say, Goofy, Toofy, pick up your pants! All together now!
No, it sounds stupid and he should know better. As for breakfast...
Pineapple upside down flapjacks!
Oh boy, here we go again.
Pour the batter in the bowl and stir it round. Repeat, tap, tap.
And I guess even the food is magic. Just don't inhale them or you'll choke. Oh, too fast. Seriously, these effects are weird. And am I the only one disturbed by how jittery Edgar is during all this? Guess they gotta keep things in motion or the kids will get bored. And don't forget the fish.
I can hardly wait, thanks. Oh, no.
Go get 'em, Oogieloves!
Anyway, they ride their bikes over to the giant... Hey, is that the same tree that imprisoned Hexus? I mean, it's large and it's all black, so... And we are then introduced to Jubilee Rounder. She's got a totally square personality, but she will help our heroes enter the tree pot. The puns in this movie are incredibly cringeworthy. And she also lives with her grandmother, Dottie. And you know how I mentioned Pee-wee's Playhouse?
What a pleasure to have you all here. I love the wonderful sound of your name, so many O's in it. I love the sound of ooh.
If you couldn't tell from the box art, this movie has employed several big-named actors like Cloris Leachman here. Like with Pee-wee's Playhouse, the recurring characters have a rotating cast of actors with some degree of name recognition. But how these guys signed up to work on this movie baffles me, because if I had to choose between a Pee-wee cameo and this flick...
Oh, circles. Circles. Oh, circles, how I love circles.
I'm picking the former easily. It just feels like these celebrity actors aren't really enjoying themselves here, even if they're doing the best they can. And when Cloris has to sing a song, she has to sit down for half of it, despite being in a movie that encourages moving around. She later admitted that this sequence was an endurance test for her. And it shows. Anyway, Toofy climbs up the tree, grabs the balloon, and...
Is climbing up.
Just hold on to my string. I'll help you down.
Is there anything in this world that isn't magical or sentient?
Everything's stuck!
Then again, the only magical thing about this balloon is how it can float Toofy down via chroma key effect.
This balloon can talk.
That's scientifically impossible.
Again, you have talking objects lying around your house. Why are you suddenly skeptical about a balloon talking? Oh, and every time they get one of these balloons, they do this.
Snap, 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 reach for the sky. Snap, 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 twist from side to side.
I think even Jubilee is confused by this. But anyway, every time they get a balloon, we cut back to Edgar and Wendy, the latter changing her curtain hair constantly. They do some chanting to contact the Oogieloves and tell them where the next balloon is. It's at Milky Marvin's Milkshake Manor. Also, real nice crop effect there, guys. The Oogieloves then head there, only for the balloon to be inside now.
How did Schloofy's balloon get tied to that cow's neck?
I'll find out. Moo! Moo! Moogie moo?
Did little kids really find this funny? Anyway, we are introduced to Milky Marvin, played by Chaz Palminteri. He will turn over the balloon as a prize for his milkshake drinking contest, even though it doesn't belong to him. Guess finders keepers is a thing in this world, so no choice, gotta win it back. And to do that, they gotta moo? Or wait, what is he saying?
If you want a milkshake, then you know what to do. March and move.
Whatever, they get their milkshakes.
got a pumpernickel pasta plum pudding. Oh. And a pinch of pepperoni.
It sounds disgusting. I would rather drink salt water every day.
Well, despite his disgust, Ruffy chugs down the drink the fastest. He's obviously going to develop lactose intolerance after this, but who cares? He wins the balloon. Speaking of, the next one is in the hands of our next character, Rosalie Rosebud, played by Toni Braxton. She says,
It was floating right through the air, straight to me. A gift from the gods, I assume, for my exquisite looks or my superb voice.
That's not something you normally hear in a kid's movie like this. Now, as far as I can tell, she's one of the few actors who wanted to work on this movie. This is because her son is a fan of children's media, especially Blue's Clues and Thomas the Tank Engine. She also admitted to having a cold during production, so they had to change the pitch of her voice instead of just waiting for her to recover. She even has her own song, just like the others, but if you're familiar with Braxton's talent as a singer, then you'd be disappointed as she's forced to go from this to this.
You gotta cough, 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 and go achoo.
Sadly, it's the best song in the movie, though it could just be my bias for Toni Braxton songs. Anyway, the Oogieloves indulge her long enough to eventually win back the balloon, but the thing slips out of her hands after she sneezes, and it gets caught on the tail of her jet.
My jet won't be able to take off with a balloon wrapped around its tail.
So get a ladder. I'm pretty sure that's a common item in the hangar, but no, they have to overthink this instead. So they make a makeshift trampoline for Gooby to jump onto a nearby box to get closer to the balloon. He even does the smooth criminal lean to finally get his hands on it.
Very well done, Gooby. It's an honor to join you.
Toofy was right. This balloon can talk, but that's impossible. They don't have the physiological makeup for verbal communication.
Well, your household friends are hard to believe too. And honestly, I think science would accept the reality of talking balloons as long as you can perceive them. Okay, next one. Bobbly Wobbly's Bubbles. The hell does that mean?
Squawk, squawk, squawk.
What did she say? She said Bobby Wobbly went out for a wobble.
Should I be concerned?
Do you like bubbles?
Yeah!
Well, gosh, are you in the right place?
The answer is yes. So Cary Elwes plays this bubble cowboy man, and from his wobbling, he either has to pee or is struggling to hold his belt together. Toofy can learn a thing or two.
I like to wobble, cuz.
Cause why?
Why don't you join me in a wobble and see for yourself?
No! Just no!
Wobble to the left, wobble to the right, wobble bobble all around and bounce with all your might.
Man, this movie must have unloaded the Brinks truck to get these actors on here, or blackmailed them with something really bad. At any rate, since Bobbly Wobbly won't let them onto the truck, the Oogieloves convince his parrot to do the work of getting the balloon. How? Why, through more chanting, of course.
Now in her language. Squawky, squawky, squawkity, squawk.
Oh great, we get animal subtitles now. Well, you better look out for Zug Zug.
It's disgusting. I gotta wear a hat.
I should really get to that one at some point. Well, she gets the balloon soon enough, so only one more balloon remains. The last one is on top of a windmill, so our heroes can't just run or ride their bikes over this grassy meadow, according to the rules. They could just walk, since it's not that far from where they are anyway, but the llama tells them to ride.
How are we going to board that little hat? It's getting closer and bigger.
It's bigger than an automobile.
It's bigger than an elephant. It's bigger than an airplane. That's the biggest hat I've ever seen.
Sure. So here are Lola and Lero Sombrero, played by Jamie Presley and Christopher Lloyd respectively. because only white people can play caricatures of a foreign culture. Lero doesn't talk, at least not till the end of the scene, and Lola has a bad Mexican accent.
We will help. El sombrero will take you there. You must board the hat.
Oh, thank goodness. I would have fallen asleep if not for these nonsense sound effects. So apparently the sombrero is powered by dance, meaning they'll each have to dance their way to the windmill. And I find it hilarious seeing the Oogie Woogie Boogie on Down Loves attempting samba while not going anywhere.
Lero, we must go faster.
I think you're scaring the Oogieloves away with that cry. Well, if it'll help things speed along, I'll join in on the dance.
Mean to interrupt the whole jump, step, tap, clap, bap, sap, drop thing you got going on over here? But we're about to run into a windmill?
Well, they boogied their way over. Now how are they gonna get the balloon down? Well, Lero plays a flute to make this tulip grow, and the team rides the stem. Yeah, just roll with it. But they fail just a little short. So Ruffy has to come to the rescue.
You are going where no other fish has gone before. Holy mackerel!
Anyway, with Ruffy's help, they get the balloon down. But that's not the only thing let down here.
We got all 5 balloons! Goofy, Toofy, pick up your pants!
I have a better idea. Goofy, Toofy, pick up your because you're making a scene. Well, that's all 5 balloons. Time to go home. Nothing can possibly stop them now.
Uh-oh. Oh, no! Come back, magical balloons!
Why the hell didn't you tie them to your bikes, you stupid Oogie Woogie Boogie Jiggy Wiggy Giddy Giddy Loves?
There's only one force stronger than the wind.
Love. Blow us as many kisses as you can.
Help us blow kisses to bring the balloons home!
Then why didn't you do that in the first place? Or what, they needed to be free first? To be fair, the balloons are the ones saying this, so this isn't exactly common knowledge. But anyway, Schloofy is finally awake. Luckily, the Oogieloves make it back home in time to give the balloons as a birthday present. They then let the balloons fly up again so they can perform a song.
It's your birthday song, time to have some fun.
Wow, truly a magnificent display of aerial song and dance. So then Windy Window lets all the guest stars in to throw some more gifts at Schloofy, because even something as sad as this unmoving pillow can get love from complete strangers, and after one final song, the movie thankfully ends. So, I'm kinda glad I did this now, because I don't think there's much for me to say that isn't already pointed out by other reviewers. Maybe besides the fact that it's better than Cats and Dogs 3, because at least they tried with this one. The effects can be laughably bad, but it's clear the production was taking full advantage of the puppets and animatronics given to them. There's also no bullcrap message about technology being evil, and if there's a theme for this movie, it's only about spreading joy and kindness to others. Harmless enough. But that doesn't make Oogieloves a good movie overall. The fact that it uses all these sounds and effects to keep the kids awake clearly shows that it has nothing else to offer. And I'm amazed to see some well-known actors degrade their reputations by deciding to work on something like this. The overall quality of this movie should have pushed it into a direct-to-TV route instead of a theater release. Because if Weiselman did the former, he would have avoided some dreadful records, like making back only $1 million from a $60 million budget. Allow me to repeat that. Spending $60 million in production and marketing to make back $1 million. That is massively bad. It's hardly worth watching even for riffing purposes, because this thing is a chore to sit through without the celebrity actors. you'd be better off watching Medea, supposedly the primary inspiration for this movie. So let's leave the final word to her. Any final thoughts before I sign off, Medea?
Love is more powerful than any addiction, baby girl. In fact, it is one.
Wait, that wasn't... Oh, whatever. I'm the Media Hunter. Media's my prey, and reviewing them my way.